What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's Brennan and I'm BMax45, and today we're coming at you with another video. We have another meta deck discussion for our channel here. We're going to be talking about the Digimon TCG Meta. We're going to be looking at the PlayTCG June Online Regionals. It was the last regionals I played in. You might have caught my battle report update. Did about 83rd, 88th place. Didn't really do that great all day, but had a fun time anyways. And we wanted to look at the results from that. Of course, we would have done this last week, but of course we were on vacation, so we were out and about. So we are going to be, coming in here fresh with another take on the meta, what's happened at the end of June, because now we're getting into July. EX9 is now legal, so we're going to have maybe a new meta, maybe not. So first we're going to look at what happened with the meta for that last tournament before EX9 and kind of have hypothesize if we're going to see any changes in the coming weeks. Of course, BT22 is out this month as well, so we could definitely see some changes around the end of the month to the beginning of August. There's not as much going on in July, so we won't see as much meta deck discussions, but we wanted to end off June seeing how things were going for just in general. But we had, as always, we have Eggman Events here giving us great information. I love the little pie graph all the time. And we're going to get into it right now. So, hey, if you enjoy this type of content, be sure to smash that like button, comment down below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Subscribe to the channel and hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss a single minute of the fun. All right, so we're getting into it here. Top 16 decks. We got 5 Royal Knights. They took a giant chunk out of this tournament, more so than they have in a while. We had 2 Purple Hybrid making a comeback. I lost against Purple Hybrid actually because they just out OTK'd me. In fact, I think Red Hybrid out OTK'd me. Unfortunately, both had good hands. They were just able to, with very little memory, to just destroy me in a turn, and I couldn't do anything because Digimon really doesn't, block or stop your opponent. It just basically outgasses your opponent. Especially if they have something in the back. It could be very easy. Then we have 2 Phoenixmon X. That's kind of cool. 2 a Gallantmon Growl Loop. So it's like a different type of deck. We have an Adventure deck, a Dominimon, a Zephycamon, Magnamon, Sakuyamon, and Gallantmon X. So this is actually the most diverse, honestly, tournament there's been in a while. And if you don't count like the 5 Royal Hybrids, like if this was spread out a little bit more, and you only had like 2 or 3 of these. But it's quite a lot, so let's get into it here and let's take a look here. Purple Hybrid taking top spot with an impressive 8-0 wins. I don't know if I played this guy, but I did play another Purple Hybrid person, and it was probably a very similar build. He's using this Digimon Superior mode to close out games now, because if you can get all their things gone, you just play that to end your turn and get the May attack without suspending, which is really, really good. And because it's purple, red, it can go on your Duskmon, your Valgrimon, so you don't always delete at the end. So it's really good. And then, you got your Gallants for your rush attacks. And you're not even playing Guillaumons, because just getting so much value out of the rookies and the Uko train, basically, and then the Cupimon gaining you memory to just or draw trash one. Nidhogg's to give you memory, so you got like a lot of value out of a lot of this. Now using the Mimis to gain you memory when a player uses an option card, so this is really good against other decks too, because there's a lot of options being used, so now you can gain memory all turns off of Mimi. Which is really good, because if you cannot suspend her during your turn to start off with, and then use her during your opponent's, and then use her during your turn afterwards, it's really, really good. Louis basically wins games because he puts an extra body out on the board, and usually you get that memory back. So if you can easily Louis, and say you already have one guy coming up and you got an attack from a Duskmon, say early game they took out 1 security, you can easily take out 3 to 4 security in this deck, no problem. So yeah, definitely. Keenan Crier is also a good card. I used to play it. Seeing that they're playing a couple Matashitas for the memory tamers and more memory gain, as well as the Koichi playing more Koichi because you want to see that guy to Digivolve on. But even like Digivolving on a Digimon in this deck isn't as bad as it used to be. Or Digivolving on a Tamer for 3. I'm seeing more that happen more because they're just focusing on the memory gain here. And then shutting down your opponents with these guys. So definitely good abilities. Purple Hybrid's back, baby. Growl Loop got second place. This is kind of interesting here. So this is like the Growl Mill engine from Digimon mixed with the War Growl engine. So basically it pumps these, it mills your deck super fast. And then you get, again, you can like finish by attacking with a Restordramon because you can play out, you know, Guillaumon off of the Growlmon X-Antibody. You also have the Gallantmon, being able to play them for free. It's an interesting deck composition. It actually looks pretty interesting. So I'd have to see how it plays, honestly. But congrats to the guy. He tell you he didn't take a Megidra or a Gallant X. He took a Growl Loop and got second place with it. So that's really cool. Adventure here. Adventure is kind of cool, and it'll be nice to see if this changes in EX9 with the addition of some new adventure cards. Like, are we going to see play Alterius mode played because people are playing the Malgramon? Are we going to see Sagittarius be played? Because they can Digivolve on Adventure Trait Digimon. They don't have to Digivolve on... it's just, you know, it's cheaper if you Digivolve on your Metal Greymon counterpart. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. I played against one of these decks finally, and holy moly, to try and out. I managed to win, but I managed to tie, I think, actually. I managed to tie just in time. Tie. But it's really hard to out these things because they get their level 5s on the board, and if you have to attack, they're trying to bounce your stuff, and Megidra, that's bad. So definitely a good deck. It's so easy for them to just slap down Tamers and just get these Digivolutions for free or reduce cost. It's a good deck. It's not the best deck, but it's a good deck, and it'd be nice to see if the new support is any good with it. And hey, is Alter S any good with it? Like, is it good to put these under an Alter S attack? You know, you do get that inheritable alliance, and you get it unsuspend, and then you can basically put these two bodies back on the board for their effects, which are pretty cool. So yeah, that's kind of cool. And that one did pretty good. That was third place. Phoenixmon X with the and this guy was what I was expecting. It's with the Growl engine, using the Garudamons as your level 5s, but using the lower Growl engine for, you know, milling and getting your deck going. Using the top end Gallantmon and Gallantmon X, you know, as well as Protoform for that reduced cost Digivolution, and to make Gallant X live, like even under like a level 5, like a Garudamon. Of course, you get Alliance, Inheritable Alliance from the new starter decks. You get, and then you have Garudamon X on deletion to trash your opponent's top security card. So it's almost just like the original, and it plays free Tamers. So you got the Sora. You only got one Sora, but it only plays a red Tamer, I believe. Play one red Tamer card, so you only really have one Sora to activate, really. But Cool Boys are really good for the X-Antibody line, because you do have X-Antibody lines all the way up. Omnimon for closing out game. It's actually pretty good. looks really good, actually. Well, you got all the way up to level 6. You got X-Antibody. So that's pretty cool. Grav Crushes, offense, lots of offense training, red scramble, red memory boost. So lots of different options here. That's actually really cool. I wouldn't mind testing that out because I did love me the Phoenixmon and the X-Antibody. So So just finding a better way to make that deck even better. Growlmon base, that's hilarious. We got our first Royal Knights here. It's probably going to be pretty similar. You know, yeah, you got your stun cards, your Omechas. Playing less of that. Some people don't even play it. Then playing, you know, pretty much the same kind of lineup. Some people play more Alphamons, some people don't. But, you know, they always play a couple Oryukins, a couple Crimson Mode, GX, max out on the option Tamer, and obviously the Omnimons. Some people play more or less Gankumons. So yeah, no, it's pretty similar. The deck's very, it's just based on how you feel about certain cards, really. There's not really a wrong way to play that. Dominimon's still doing good. Still doing with the Gatomon stuff. And then, of course, Chirubimon Ace is just amazing. Valderammer's good. Dominimon's really great. So the deck really hasn't changed a lot. We haven't had a lot of good Angel support lately, so basically the same here. What else? All the Royal Knights. 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. That's pretty much all of them. Zephigamon. Let's take a look at this. See how Zephigamon did. This is like green gotcha Zephigamon, which is always really interesting here. You can see like you have one base, which is the Galemon, basically for you to play a Tamer, and then you play the Piercing Blocker Shoto and the Starter Deck Shoto as well. Playing some analog use too, so that's cool. For when your guy dies. Imperialmon Paladin mode, Chaos. Old Chaosmon, that's really cool. Old Chaosmon, I like that. That's unsuspend this Digimon, then it can attack your opponent's Digimon. This effect allows you to attack unsuspended Digimon as well. So yeah, you got Ace, you got regular Zephyr. Just a lot of good cards, a lot of cool cards. The green gotcha thing's interesting. I wouldn't mind trying that as well. Although I do like Terramon, so it's unfortunate that you don't need to play Terramon in this deck at all. But hey, it's what it is. It is what it is. Magna, we had the one Magna on here. Let's see where the focus on this one was. So again, not too much focus on the new stuff, all pretty much the old stuff. Of course, you have the new Vmon, which is really good for cost reduction. Digivolutions. Focusing on, I like the split between the Searcher and the when attacking draw guy, that reduces cost. Then maxing out on this. A couple of these are okay, but not as good. The new Lydramon, people have been enjoying that card, and even the new Magnamon, replacing the old BT13 Magnamon, but and even somewhat replacing this because there are only two of the old BT8 guy. One Flamedramon, that's pretty good. Didn't expect that, but the Mega Siegramon X-Antibody for level 5 option, Medieval Gallantmon for extra. We're dealing with floodgates and other things. And wide boards. Then you got the Magnamon, of course. Jesmon, all the level 7s that people play for this deck. Blinding Ray, X-Antibody, then your options. Genai's House, that's kind of interesting. And then your Tamer lineup, which was kind of similar to your old Tamer lineup. So we're not dealing with any of the new option cards or Tamer lineup. So it's old Magnamon with a couple new cards. It's just better, unfortunately. I hope the new variant was going to be a lot better. Sakuyamon, which is probably a similar kind of thing as always. I was going to say, where's your level 4s? There's like no level 4s in this deck. Just level 5s. It's hilarious. Playing one Kazuhamon. Aegistramon, that's interesting. I don't know how they're... I mean, okay, I guess you're maxing out on the Tau Ace and then playing that and then Digivolving. So that's kind of interesting. Maid mode is interesting too. So this is kind of different. No level 4s. I would love to see how that works. I would love to see... I mean, I can imagine it does. I mean, like I said, it's all based on Tau. You're basically playing the Taumon Ace probably. Gaining a lot of memory. Playing it and then Digivolving up from there. So it's not bad. And then lastly, Gallimon X, which is probably going to be very similar. Yeah, same kind of... It gets its tops. Raid Takuya, Blitz Takuya, that's pretty much it. So that is the meta. Still, you know, a lot of decks have been doing well, or still doing well, but seeing some of these new and interesting decks. This is what happens when you have a longer format. You have innovation and stuff like that. Purple Hybrid getting reborn. Phoenixmon X coming back. Green Gotcha, Zephygamon. Dominimon having a top adventure. Gallant Growloop. That is all innovation because of a longer format, which is why I am a supporter of a longer format. I wish our formats were way long, at least 3 months, maybe at least 3 months long, sometimes a little bit more, because I think that would be better. You'd see more innovation. When you have just the next best thing every single set, every couple months, you just have so much like overture, and everyone's just playing the best deck from that set. Whereas like when you let time stretch out, you have to think about, how you want to play the game a lot more, and you honestly get a lot more people like trying out things and finding, hey, this works really good, this is really consistent. That's why I like longer formats. I think it breeds better metas. But tell me what your guys' thoughts about all this are below. Like I said, again, shout out to Eggman Events. As always, I love doing these meta deck discussions, and this one was actually really fun. So we'll have to see what happens. Is EX9 going to put anything in here? Is it going to maybe spike adventure decks? What else are we going to see? And is BT22 going to make a big impact on this meta when we get it in a couple weeks? We probably won't have a meta deck discussion until BT22 comes out, unless we see some major changes in early July tournaments. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and we will be back for another meta deck discussion as soon as we have some more info. Looks like that's all the time we have for this video. Thank you very much for tuning in. We hope to see you in the next video. As always, have a wonderful day. That's all for now, folks.